All right, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Karaoke Andy here, and it's again my absolute pleasure and honor to be with you here today, trading live the EU session here in Tom's trading room. All right, let's get right into it. First, let's read the disclaimer. This is no financial advice. This stream and its recording is for educational purposes only. The stream and its recording, they both together are, or one of them is. The English language has definitely its intricacies. This stream and its recording is for educational purposes only. This stream is governed by the stipulations set out on Tom's website, tradertom.com/disclaimer. Okay, so we are still in the last week of the holiday schedule, where Tom takes some time off. So you will have me today, EU and US session. You have me also tomorrow. And then I believe Tom wrote something about Friday. Yeah, I'm back Friday. Andy will run tomorrow and Thursday. So might as well that you get Tom on Friday morning. In any case, we need to trade the espresso. I'm using a 19-point offset, bracketing the current 5-minute bar that will conclude in 3 minutes. Right, so a lot of you guys are still asking me, hey Andy, how do you trade the espresso? What is the espresso? Andy, what offset do you use? Andy, I explained in my very first session here, I explained that to you. Oh, by the way, I have to post the video. So about that, the video link. So what I just posted is the current live stream, and later that link will also access the recording, right? And my first appearance here, there in the EU and the US session, so the first two recordings, from the 3rd minute or so, watch it. They are explained in great detail the espresso, right? So I was showing you these slides here, you know. So the espresso is a strategy from Tom Hougaard, right? It's based on his work. Tom hasn't released an official documentation yet. So what I showed you there is my interpretation. And I also put my spin on it. I believe Tom, after 3 minutes, he would kill both the long and short order. However, I changed the breakout interval. I call that the karaoke espresso. So take that with a grain of salt. Also take it with a grain of salt because I didn't backtest that. I don't have tick data, right? So I only forward tested that, albeit with positive result. But I also I sometimes trade discretionary, sometimes use fixed parameters like today. So take it with a grain of salt. However, a gentleman, a member of this community, took it upon himself to backtest that, and I will later, while we're waiting for the school run, will show you the results. Right now, focusing on getting the orders in. So these rectangles have a height of 19 points, and they will help me to adjust stop losses and entry points and take profit levels. So time to post that in Telegram probably. There we go. We'll do anyway for documentation's sake.
Order filled.
Filled long. Oh, it's deflating. This is where when you trade a completely mechanical strategy, also with take profit levels, you shouldn't touch that. But I'm well aware we just peaked above the overnight range, and the other hand, we are in an uptrend. This is just, here's a lot of old resistance that hopefully now becomes support. Put stop loss to break even. Stop loss to break even. I will take just 14 points. So and there you probably get your 20. Yeah, there it is. All right. So, I want to show you guys something. So I asked this gentleman here if I can show his name and his picture. Shoaib Khan. I hope I read that correctly. Probably not. So apologies for that. So he has looked into the espresso and also school run efficacy. So I want to share the conclusion of his work. I don't know how he backtested that, on what data, what methodology he used for that. And I don't know his proficiency with that. He just offered to do that. So take it for what it is. Somebody from the community trying to support us with their work, right? But also, that was the first time I had an exchange with this gentleman. So I'm just presented with the end result. I don't know how that was tested, with which methodology and whatever. But I just find it interesting. So let's take a look. And so before you ask, right? So the parameters that he used here: risk per trade 1%, fixed stop loss 40 pips, fixed target 20 pips, offset 18 pips. And probably he means points. That's in stock indices we don't talk about pips, we use points. So that might be a little bit confusing here. So points. Auto order cancellation 10 minutes if no order is triggered. So no stage 2, no Karaoke Espresso or whatever. Interesting. So and he was looking back a couple of months, started I think in January. So the thing is also, if you would look back a long period of time, right? 10 years ago, the DAX was trading at 10,000, yeah, or 11,000, something like that, right? So you certainly would need a smaller offset. You certainly would get away with a smaller stop loss, maybe half, maybe 20, right? So that is something to consider, something to take in mind, take into consideration. Also, markets change over time. So, but if you look at from like just the first half of this year, more or less, then I think that, yeah, you probably get away with using fixed parameters like that. Otherwise, you would have to account for, right? You know, stock indices trading higher and higher, and you need larger offsets and larger stops over time, right? So anyway, so the results, deposit was 10,000, risk per trade, he said 1%, 40-20, and stop loss, take profit, and just let it run. Only if no fill for 10 minutes, should that ever happen, then he would kill the orders, right? So there seems to be a net profit, 72% win rate. Max drawdown was 6.37. Can you see that? Am I in the way here with my little head? So I'll take myself maybe screen only, right? So and you see the returns here: January, February, March, April, May. See also that Wednesday is seems to be the worst day. Go figure. It just worked, right? Worked often enough on a Wednesday. But even here, 16 trades, 9 wins. All the other days seem to be green. Yeah. So, and the gentleman also did that for the school run. Risk per trade 1%, and he went for a fixed risk to reward of 1 to 2. That means target twice the risk of every trade. So if you have a stop loss of 40 points, then you would target 80 points, right? So yeah, just the traditional school run, no ante, right? Risk 1%. Same interval here you see, starting in January, ending midst of May. And you see the school run also, the traditional school run. Albeit having a low win rate, seems to have yielded a net profit. Okay, you also have to factor in commissions, right? You have to pay for the trades. But there you also see that, interestingly, January, February was very good. January also, March was okay, and then April and May so far. April and half of May were down, drawdown. Okay, so I go back to the charts. Just wanted to share that with you because that's a community contribution. Again, I don't know how he arrived at those conclusions. Also interesting for me, since I trade the espresso and don't have the option to backtest that properly. You know, if you're not aware, go to a 1 minute chart, you see when I look back, those bars don't move anymore. And while in this case, you probably, because there's not so much overlap, you can be pretty sure that, okay, you would get filled here. Stop loss is down here, and that was never touched, but sometimes there are pullbacks, they are deeper. Also candles might be longer. Candles might be longer than 40 points, which I use as stop loss, right? So you don't know, just looking at static charts, looking left back in time, whether you would get stopped out. So that's what I mean, right? If you want to see that, you need to have more data, maybe tick data, so you get the price of every tick, not just a 1 minute chart or something like that, right? So the first bar positive in the FTSE, that means we should be sellers. Below, let's take a look at, so FTSE closed at 10,491. We closed the gap and pushed a little bit higher. Then double topped here. Now FTSE somewhat range bound around the closing price. Andy, you have to use a tool for the split screen. Andy, you need to, you can click here and engage a split screen. I know, guys, I know. I have my quirks. So I want a 15-minute chart here. Now you see that, right? So we peaked above the overnight range in the DAX, and then there is some profit taking going on. I can show you also here. This is a 15-minute chart of the DAX, and those bubbles here, they mark just the beginning and end of the cash session, where the market is actually open from 9 a.m. Frankfurt time to 17:30 in the afternoon. So you see here a bullish uptrend, now in a consolidation. This was yesterday. Was a trend day. We started here and closed here. But also a very tight range, and looks like all the levels here, overnight low, previous cash close, previous cash low, they're all very tight down here. So we just broke above overnight high, which is the blue line, which we made already an hour before the market opened. And also that area here, you see there is some candles whose highs are touching that. So here is something going on, right? So, and this is the previous cash high. And now we should expect, we opened gap up. This is the overnight midpoint. Everything between the two cash sessions. So this, and we are above immediate resistance here. So now it's conceivable that we see a rotation up here to the previous cash high. But yeah, let's see what will happen. Got a bull close on the first 15-minute bar. Outside of the overnight range. Above all the resistance levels here. Immediate resistance levels. UK index. Very rangy so far. Huh? Question is, does DAX want to be in a consolidation right now, in a sideways movement? So, does he want to break out now to the top or rotate back down? So far, second 15-minute bar inside the range of the first 15-minute bar. First 15-minute bar closed above its midpoint, but I would say third upper shadow. Now good follow through for the bulls. But we're still 13 minutes to go. I will put an order in to sell short the FTSE, just in case. Probably get away with a 20-point stop loss. Yeah. Follow through for the bulls on the DAX, making new highs. But so immediate target is 366, the previous cash high, okay? Which would be 20 points higher. So if you're still long, that can be your first target. I have to inspect the refresh rate of my graphics card or whatever is going on there. I increased frame rate already to 60 frames per second streaming, and when I look at the monitor there on the stream, my cursor is still flickering. In reality, my cursor is not flickering. So DAX is motoring away. So I set the previous cash high, 366 would be an immediate target. We went as far as 62.8. FTSE coming down, looks like we get filled soon. Having iced coffee here, black coffee just with ice. Stand by. I'm not taking the aggressive screw run because I would buy into resistance here.
Order filled.
Okay, that was the spread activating the short order. Okay, short FTSE. I put the stop loss just above the high of candle 2. Market didn't trade higher than that, so no need for a 25 point stop loss when we can get away with a 20.3 point stop loss. So we are short the FTSE. I believe there was something going on here. Candle with a long tail here. I think if we get a retest of that, and then of course after that there is nothing. Probably take something off there. Let rest run or something like that. So if we ever get there. So six minutes to go in the DAX. Second 15-minute bar bullish so far. So should we get a situation where we have a gap up, we have 2 consecutive bull bars on the 15-minute chart. Yeah, I would want to be long on the traditional school run. FTSE currently losing a couple points, trading back into the range. After making a new low, mind you. Let's wait for the close here. Close could be nicer, could be below bar number 4, right? below the low of bar number 4. For what it's worth, we had just an alteration of blue, red, and that's now broken. So we're range somewhat, we closed at the lower end of the range. But fair enough, there is a blue candle. As a breakout trader, you always have to be mindful of chop. Yeah. If it weren't for the sake of live trading, I personally might even would consider leaving that alone, yeah, or trading that in tiny size. Yeah, maybe FTSE sellers need some more conviction. So now in the DAX doesn't look so bullish right now. We have 3 minutes to go. So the high came in at 62.8. This is actually this is a good example, right? So I set immediate target. If you're long, previous cash high 25,366. How did I measure previous cash high? Sort of 15-minute chart. I just put my cursor here, right? So on a 5-minute chart, let's see if that is still. We are 66.4, still sits there. So that's the previous cash high. Yeah. So if you use targets, you might consider getting a little bit out south of a target in a long position, a little bit out north of a target in a short position. Because the market is not always that precise, right? Close is close enough. Often enough also overshoots, right? In this case, no, didn't quite make it there. So FTSE coming down. Again. Now if you get a close here at the low of the current bar, maybe even below number 5, then I would have, of course, much more confidence trading this. Okay, close is good. Not below bar number 5, mind you, but we made a new low. I will add to my FTSE, adding to the FTSE. Using a smaller stop loss. Don't believe that that is, don't need such a big one. 10, 4, 7, 9.3. Ten, 4, 9, 4.7. DAX disappointing close for the bulls. FTSE, oh. Here's some support maybe. Sold into support, but the hard trade is not always the easy trade, right? A good trade is not always the easy trade. What do we do in the DAX? I think if we get up here, we want to be long the DAX. Oh fuck. Oh. What about that? Oh no, the school run is gone. Putting in an order to buy the DAX on a school run long. Okay. I probably also would take the school run short, to be honest. Classic school run short. Because of that small bull body closing below the midpoint. So sellers were pushing down that bull body to below the midpoint, and now continuation. Where's that order? It's probably somewhere 25, maybe I can see that here. 25,308. Does that make sense? 38.5. So FTSE is struggling to break lower again, but position slightly in profit. Okay, looking better now. Always uncomfortable when the DAX is nominally strong and the FTSE is weak, or vice versa. Okay. like this. I don't know. I don't see anything. Oops. So I move stop loss. On both. So should we, however, and I would want that physical gap here on the chart. Yeah, somewhere there. Yeah. Guys, I'm closing my footsie. Closing my footsie. Closed all. For minus 2.5 and minus 0.4. So that was like almost 80% overlap, and I just thought from here on I would want to see a cleaner breakdown. Right now that candle is deflating, so that was a little bit jumping the gun on my side. But at this point I didn't expect bulls to push it up till above my my original entry, really. The FTSE is tricky. This is one where, even though it looks like this, I'm not sure. It's just my spider sense is tingling, and maybe I'm wrong here. That was intuition, and maybe I'm wrong. We will take a look later. So anyway, let's focus on the DAX. Okay, should have stayed short in the FTSE so far. Looks like I got freaked out by one candle. Have to own that. I should still be short. So I'm usually not so fast at closing positions. I just have seen the FTSE is like a rabbit, retraces a lot the previous moves. So I got spooked by how fast that candle expanded, but it was completely unnecessary. You see, we're trading lower. So, couple questions. Yeah. Also, just to reiterate, the backtest of this gentleman here, that's a community contribution that I showed you earlier, right? So I have to say that take that always with a grain of salt. I'm sure that the gentleman put in a great effort, but I can't speak to how he arrived at those conclusions, how he actually tested, which data he used, which methodologies, right? So take it with a grain of salt. All right, so hello Nick, you're asking how long how long it took me before I was confident to trade full time, and if I do prop accounts, if not, why? I think I spoke lengthily about that in previous sessions. So short answer, took me many years. And have I tried props? Yes. Would I prefer them over real money, proper broker accounts? No, clearly no. Yeah? And the reason is that prop firms are in the business. I mean, they're traditional prop firms, but not talking about those. We're talking about those like FTMO and Apex and all of those, right? Yeah, those are not brokers. They oftentimes don't even have a special license, right? So someone just went to the city hall, presented his or her ID, and opened a business and called that a prop firm. What they're doing is they are evaluating traders' ability to trade. Yeah? So you end up trading on a demo account, you're paper trading, and you will keep paper trading, right? So, and for that evaluation, you pay money, right? So, usually they call that a challenge. Yeah? If you fail the challenge, you can buy a reset and try again. So, what they promise traders is that once they pass those challenges, yes, they are eligible to payouts. So I'm not talking about bad intentions or whatever. I'm just saying how the business model is, and you need to judge for yourself. So the payouts happen out of the pool, out of the pot of collected challenge fees and reset fees, right? So traders need to get paid out of that. That means, they don't really have any intention of you winning. So I believe rather in the sense of profit maximization. If their money in is to sell challenges and resets, they want to maximize that. And if their money out is payouts to traders, they want to rather minimize that. They know how already that the odds are highly stacked against the success of traders just being exposed to the markets. You see me here getting spooked by that candle, exiting at a small loss, and now we're trading a lower, right? So it's hard enough as it is. So on top of that, they impose additional rules to make it even harder than it already is. So your chances of actually receiving a payout are very, very low. Yeah. So, and then there are further deductions, right, to your payout. So you also pay a spread, or commissions, even though it's a demo account, right? So paying a spread to a prop firm, you don't pay a spread. It's just a deduction from your payout. It's a deductible, right? Also, the profit share is a deductible to your payout. Yeah. So that's why I prefer to trade with a real broker. Yeah. There are no challenges to pass. Yeah. The broker wants you to probably trade as often and as big a size as possible. That's why the trading platforms are overloaded with all those features and data and indicators. They want you to be the click monkey. That's their interest, right? But they live off the bid-ask commissions, aka spread, and other fees that you pay to open positions, right, and close positions in the future markets. CFD brokers, they usually just charge you for a spread. So that's with brokers. Plus, there is no profit share. There are no additional rules. You can trade however you like. You just need to have enough money in your account to open positions, to meet margin requirements, and that's about it. And there are no payouts, with brokers. There is really, payouts are a non-issue. Broker is a specialized bank. You can simply withdraw money like from any other bank account. So, but in the prop firm space, that's a huge thing. Talk about payout denials and interviews and whatnots. Yeah, but some people, I met a couple on the X platform. They seem to be doing quite well with prop firms. So while I'm talking about that, Nick is writing a lot. FTMO are based in Czech, I think. Maybe pop in and see them. Yeah, FTMO. I was on a trading event in Frankfurt, I believe. They FTMO had the biggest booth there. Was 2 stories. There was free coffee and very good looking people. Yeah, Nick, you said it yourself. You've passed and failed many. That's also a thing. I don't believe that failing, if you're just risking a challenge fee or reset fee, God bless you. I don't believe that is good. You also have to see that the people who are promoting prop firms, those who have affiliate agreements with them, some of the trading gurus out there on social media, be careful. They might get free resets, right? You need to pay for resets. They don't. and also their affiliate commissions, they might get paid out in some instances the same way as trading payouts, right? So they show you a payout certificate, but that is just for the prop firm, the money out, right? So you scan that QR code, and sure enough, there is that fake guru's name on it. But it might be just his affiliate commission, or it might be part of his compensation package, which might include free resets. So not all prop firms are doing that, but some definitely do. So be careful. Yeah, and if you trade prop accounts, I would suggest that you don't get blinded by the marketing. €100,000 FTMO account, and then you think, oh, I risk 1% conservatively. Nope. If the maximum drawdown is 10,000, yeah, guess what? After that, you lose your account, and that's your account size. So if you want to risk 1%, then you risk only €100, right? Anyway, so still not happy about the FTSE. It also didn't really break down much lower. No. Bar 3 in the DAX, an inside bar. Bar number 4 so far, another inside bar. So you have an inside bar. Now I should give you my my Al Brooks impression, huh? Yeah, you're welcome, Nick. Andrea, a good friend, wants to know what games do I have on the arcade cabinet behind me. So there is a that's a Street Fighter 2 and a Mortal Kombat 2 arcade cabinet, and the ones I built myself. Yeah, well, there are some community games on or something. CRBN production. Whoa, it's a lot about prop firms. So, hi Andy, don't you think it's still better to trade with reputed prop firms, like with the track record of zero payout denials from the past 2 to 3 years? But how do you know that, right? Those are non-regulated entities, most of them, right? So you have to take the words from it, or it's just that already starts, right? You can only risk 2% per trade. Max loss a day can't be more than 5%. Max on account and 10% of them account will be, but 100 cost of to get a real funded account from you get 80% profit. You can make 8% on step 1 and 5%. Yeah, brother, no, that's not. Look, you don't make 8%. You have to make 80% and then 50% on step 2, right? So if you lose your account after a 10% drawdown, then yeah, you have to and you have to treat that as your account size. So it's very hard to pass. Yeah, if you're able to do that, well, must be a good trader, right? So my hat's off to you. But then again, if you trade that well, why don't you trade on a real broker account? And you don't need to worry about all those restrictions, right? Fewer rules, no profit split. I don't know, man. Right? I don't understand this. In the prop firm space, people are talking about a return on investment, right? But we are not investors here. We're day traders. So we use high leverage to generate returns. Yeah, and also we do that at high risk. Yeah, and we don't just buy and sit on an asset and wait till it goes up. We're using skill to extract points from a market. Yeah. Look, if you guys want to look at it like that, so you're stacking accounts, copy trade into them, right? Whatever you're doing there, why don't you just take a real broker account and just put more money in there and trade bigger size? Yeah. So because you know, what good does it make if you have if you do the same trade and copy that into 10, 20, 100 accounts? Yeah, if you lose one, you lose all, right? So anyway, so enough, no more about prop firms. You know my opinion by now. I would advise you to be careful. That's all I'm saying. Some people, to be fair, seem to be doing quite well trading prop firms. Just try to say in a very balanced way where the interests lie, right, of prop firms. And FTMO here in Prague, in the Czech Republic, they're one of the older ones. They also recently, I believe, they acquired Oanda, which is a broker. Maybe they expect there's some more regulatory scrutiny in the future within the EU. Prop firm shutdowns and things like that so far, as I know, only happened in the US. European regulators seem to be leaving prop firms alone for now. Maybe that will change in the future. So if you have no experience with regulatory oversight, because you don't need to as a prop firm, but you expect that to have expect that to be the case in the future. Yeah, you also might buy that experience by acquiring a broker, right? So that could be the reason for the acquisition, but it's just speculation on my part. I don't know. Anyway, so that's that's all I can say. So FTMO has been around for a long time. Seem to be one of the reputable and fair ones, even though I also heard there sometimes it's, but you know, usually you have to see from case to case. Yeah. So, Mats Broström. Hi Andy, you said you have a Trade Nation MT4 account and a Karaoke Espresso EA. Backtesting that in the strategy tester does so with tick data. You can backtest MT4 and trade live. You can also export tick data from there. Also, okay, interesting. If that's the case, I probably should look into that. But where does that data come from, right? I trade with Trade Nation. That's where my data comes from. I don't know if they also provide me with tick data. Maybe I learned something right now. I don't have to say. Johan says FTMO spreads are horrible.
Order filled.
Oh, we got filled on the school run. Cool. So, long the ducks. I will delete the short order. Long the ducks. Back to business. So, all right. 25,365.9. Clear breakout now. After a series of inside bars on the 15-minute chart, mind you. I think I would want a stop loss really at the other end. So 25,309.9. Good. So long the DAX. So and fuck. Sorry. Yeah. I just got long at the of yesterday's session high. Set at 66. There it was, and now buyers are stepping, sellers are stepping in. So, in other words, we just double topped. But on the other hand, we also made a new high. We have a series of consecutive bull bars, and we have here some sort of triangle breakout. Okay, the high of 3 could be a couple points higher. Also, previous bars, a lot of overlap. But yeah, school run. Ah, look, the FTSE. So my intuition wasn't so wrong. It just kicked in a couple bars later. We didn't even get down here. Turned around. So with hindsight, with the benefit of perfect hindsight, not so unhappy about closing the FTSE. Was 200% short. Okay. Nope. Trading higher. Again, back at entry. Okay, so more questions. Christopher, hi Andy. It seems that this gentleman did the research with Cloud AI because the presented HTML is very familiar with that LLM. Maybe we should do research as a community in a shared chat. Would that benefit to all of us? I can't speak to that because, as you know, I'm a mere guest here. This is Tom Hougaard's channel, right? Just made me administrator, or gave me rights that I can post entries here and messages. And also, I think it's the policy of Trader Tom that chats are switched off in Telegram and also in YouTube. Comments also. If I had to speculate, probably to keep scammers out. I mean, there have been instances where even I was impersonated. Look here. Karaoke Andi live day trading. That's not me. Yeah, I don't run a channel here on Telegram. So be careful. There are fake Karaoke Andis out there now. Definitely a lot fake Tom Hougaards. So I will never contact you first. And I will never sell you anything, right? So my username here on Telegram is @Karaoke Andi. Yeah. It's a capital K and a capital A, no space in between. So you know. Alexander says backtest results Espresso 0.08 R per trade and SRS 0.15 R per trade. Does that mean mechanical trading those system as shown the backtest without discretion is not worth it? I'm not sure what you mean. Are you commenting on the gentleman's result? I think they were quite positive. I just want to caution you because I don't know how he arrived at those results, right? Might be good intentions, and or he might have overlooked something, or it is like that. I can't confirm the results. That's what I want to say. But I don't know what you mean by 0.08 R per trade. You need to specify that. Why would you have 0.08 R per trade? That doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. So, oi, Bilal. My God, brother, you wrote so much. Hi, Andy. Any guidelines how much account size one needs to have with Trade Nation if someone is trading US 500 only? Put there as much money as you can afford to lose, never more. Rather less than that, right? Depends on your skill set, and also the position sizes you're comfortable trading with. Risk 1% of that per trade. No. If you trade the S&P 500, I don't know how much stop loss you use in the S&P 500, maybe 20 points, right? 20 point stop loss. Let's say you put 10,000, it's just hypothetical, 10,000 in your account. You want to risk 1%, so 100. Yeah. Stop loss is 20 points, so lot size should be 5 euros or whatever currency per point. Does that make sense? Brother Andy, this is how I'm seeing currently DAX moving in relation to closing 50-minute candle. The progression is DAX over. The yesterday session top will be taken out on subsequent move up where you just took the long. And he set that at 10.04. Okay. Yeah, it was taken out. Clearly. So. Good morning, Andy. Hope you had a great weekend. Yes, thank you, I had. Something I issue while trading is that I'm usually looking for an X return on the day and I stop trading correctly. How do you deal with that? Yeah, stop looking for return per day. Yeah, that doesn't work like that. I mean, look at this. We had to wait till 10 or so before we even got filled on the school run. The school run comes in at 10:30, right, when the second 15-minute bar concludes. Yeah? And there are days, probably like yesterday, where you would just sell short here on a school run short, and then by 10, you know, you already could be, it's 211, could already be 80 points in profit, right? So that's a completely different each day. Yeah? If you're a breakout trader, this choppy thing here, I always like to see here is a breakout happening, right? I always think, okay, this is some sort of triangle here. I don't usually use diagonal lines, but just in my head, right? So we're breaking out of here. Always hope for continuation when I look at the market. Doesn't need to be, right? So that means whatever strategy you use, and you can trade that with the greatest of disciplines, there will be days when you will just lose money. And there might even be consecutive days where you will lose money. So the expectancy is that every day you make money is not realistic, right? You will not. Unless your trade frequency is so high, for example, if you're like a professional scalper and only take a couple ticks and fire 100 trades per day, then maybe. But if you take 1, 2, 3 trades per day or something like that, no, you can't expect every day to make money. Yeah. Just look at the how do you find an edge? The 3 elements to it, right? Just mathematically, just talking about the mathematical side of it, of the equation. Yeah, you have win rate, you have risk to reward, and you have commissions. Yeah? With Tom's strategies, there is no risk to reward baked in because the exits are discretionary, right? The exits are not defined. You can't really say that. You can, of course, backtest that, like our friend did in the morning with the 2-to-1 or something like that. But within those three parameters, right, that needs to be positive. Win rate, risk reward, commissions. Commissions often forgotten. And I don't like my DAX position right now. Trading back into the range. Bah. Okay, Shoaib can clarify it a little bit. So he used Claude to build that interactive web view. The data was generated through an algorithm he created using the MQL5 programming language, and the data was from Black Bull broker from New Zealand. Okay, and I still don't like this candle here. So again, Alexander for the espresso. Shoaib used those parameters here. 40 pips fixed stop loss, 20 pips, he probably means points, fixed target, right? Offset 18 points, risk per trade 1%, yeah? Not taking all the questions, guys. Fucking hell. Yeah, we just double topped at yesterday's cash high. Fuck me. So I bought into resistance. Yeah. About to get stopped out here, huh? Not an easy session. Shall we take the flip? Flipping short here, ladies and gentlemen. Stopped out. Not an easy session. Say it again. FTSE broke lower now. Okay. And DAX just trades back into the range. And I feel like I'm looking like an idiot right now. I might have fallen for a bear trap here. And the reason being I didn't use... that's why you have a little bit of offset on the levels. Fuck. Okay. But to be honest, that's the one of the greatest fuckery I've seen the DAX doing in a while. I mean, this is wild. This is just wild. Closing at a loss. Closing DAX. I'm not playing that game here. So. That is outrageous. Outrageous. So, all right. Couple more questions. Sorry guys, FTSE should have stayed short. DAX I should have coulda, woulda, shoulda, right? Yeah, but it was a clear long signal, but there was of course the, I don't know, have to assess. Yeah, that was more bullish. That was okay to take the school run long there. Flipping short, I mean, after that went so violently down, why not? And now that it trades back into the range, it's my job to stay out. So, anyway, yeah. Afterwards, it's so easy to see, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I touched the VWAP. I don't look at VWAP. For your information, DAX made a FIB retracement to 38.2 level. Yeah, guys, it's always easy with hindsight, right? So let's take a look. From where to where? Where's that retracement, huh? Here? I have to measure from the other side, right? So let me see. Put that up here. Origin. Base. So. You said that. I don't know when you said that. So it might fall anyway. Yeah, but I also don't want to get chopped up here in a trading range, right? So many thanks for your good spirit, Andy. Good luck for this morning. See you this PM. Believe that is that's great. Hi Anka. Yes, I am well. Thank you. Where's the chat, Andy? There is no chat. Hi Andy, first of all thank you, and Tom very much for your time and sharing your knowledge with us. Can you please explain a bit more about the significance of inside bars? At a very basic level, an inside bar significance, the significance of an inside bar means it's completely contained within the range of the previous bar. So it means buyers and sellers are indecisive. Neither of them wants to push the market higher or lower. So yeah, it's also you see it's also a range contraction within that bar, the high and low. They are not so far apart like from the previous bar. So it's much more agreement on the actual price is somewhat fair. So now we're going back up. Yeah. So market contracting, accelerating, and then breakout trader hopes that you see a breakout out of that eventually, but it can be tricky within the confinements of a trading range. You see inside bar, inside bar, inside bar. Now number 5, an outside bar. Overall, you see that the bodies here definitely look like there is an uptrend. Just the wicks here, they played their games with me. So yeah, see, it's not so easy. Now we're trading back up here again. For a while it looked like it would go down again. I exited out of principle, not so much to do it at an optimal level where I save the most points. As soon as my trade idea is invalidated, right? So I just try to get out. So anyway. Okay. Yeah, so some gentleman said to me, his name is guess what? FYI, DAX made a FIB retracement to 38.2 level. Yeah, really? And the way he measured that is he put the origin down here and 0% up here, and then fair enough, yeah, 38.2% retracement, but we made that already here right at 9.15. So problem that I have with that is you put it down here where the market was not open, right? So, and if the market is not open, I ask you also, why not put it down here? You might say, okay, that was a previous swing or whatever. I personally like to look at a market that is open even though I take into consideration a little bit what happens overnight. But the difference in liquidity here, the amount of buyers and sellers active at 6 in the morning as compared to where the market is open, is a night and day. It's night and day. So I would put the origin here, and then you see that we retraced more than 61.8%. And that's that. Okay. But you're probably telling me that because you want to be long. So you probably if you bought down here on your retracement, congratulations, and you're still in. Excellent. If you had stop loss at break even, you would have gotten stopped out for 0 at 10.15. If you took profit up here, well done. If you haven't moved stop loss and you're still long, well done so far. So, hi Andy, should we consider that Nasdaq just made a new all-time high 5 minutes ago? The Nasdaq is not open yet, so we don't look at the Nasdaq. Right now, Europe leads, and as further we get to where the New York Stock Exchange opens and the CME opens, then and the Nasdaq opens, then then America gets more relevant. It's a shame I just got ticked out here, huh? on the long, and then I even reversed to make things worse. Yeah. Just because your broker shows you a chart, ladies and gentlemen, doesn't mean that you should trade it, that you should look at the information, right? We are trading stock indices here, and stock markets, they're not open 24/7. Stock market, for example, the DAX is open from 9 a.m. in the morning till 5 p.m. in the afternoon. That's it. That's the cash session. Cash is king. That's what matters. Anything outside of that, is a thinly traded representation of the futures market that my broker shows me here. And just to keep that in mind, there is certainly... I don't disregard those levels, but you need to be mindful of that. It's very thinly traded compared to when the market is actually open, right? In New York right now, it's 6 hours earlier, so that it's like 4:30 in the morning. Yeah, nobody's even awake yet. Missed your stream yesterday. Glad you live stream again. Say, Andy, what do you think of volume indicator? Any reason why you don't use volume indicator in your trading? Yeah, I don't use any indicators for that matter. I don't believe that a volume indicator would have let me trade this FTSE trade better. It's nothing wrong, guys. There's so many ways to trade. I'm not saying that my ways to trade or Tom's ways to trade, that's the only way, you know. It's quite the opposite. everything that has edge is valid when you're able to extract money out of the market. Use whatever is at your disposal, right? I'm not saying you should become a purist. The reason why I switched off all indicators is because looking at my trading, I found myself in enough situations that could have been profitable, but yeah, wasn't able to extract enough points just because of up here, right? So I rather worked on the mental aspects of trading. In my case, that made all the difference. And no indicator, no other entry technique or model or however you guys call that will make me a better trader or made me a better trader. People are always looking, they're jumping on that. So I was also a little bit, careful with showing Shoaib's results here. Not only that, can be, the data that he used can be different from the data that we use and whatever. And we don't know if he might made a mistake with the analysis. So, but even if it's the right numbers, yeah, I can see it's appealing for you to trade the espresso. You get something very mechanical, and it looks like it's profitable. So yeah, what more do I need? Yeah, well, look, edge depreciation is real. Yeah, stuff that worked from January to May, it doesn't need to that might continue working in June. Yeah? Markets change, stuff like that. So you may find that if you do that for a couple of time, that you need to constantly assess, reassess, do your research, keep an open mind, but you will not get around fixing that up here. The urge to take profit early, the inability to fire a trade or whatever it is that you need working on. You need to start doing that, right? So if you don't know, if you don't have an edge, if you don't know price action, whatever, go ahead and study that. But at one point you have to also say, hey, I know enough now. Let's work on trading psychology. Because if you don't, all that knowledge is completely useless. Congratulations, you just become an analyst. An analyst is not a trader. Yeah. So either you get stuck by not being able to pull the trigger, or you trade the market for the wrong reason. You want to be right instead of making money. So you're pulling your stop loss away all the time and do shit like that. Yeah? Or you take profits too early. Or whatever it is, you need to work on that. Mo says that traders in Europe and Asia are trading US futures and the algos do not sleep. He trades mostly US pre-market. Hey, I'm not saying it's not tradable. I just say a market that is open, the price action that you see on a market that is open is more relevant than a market that is officially closed, right? So doesn't mean it's untradeable. Just say the significance. You're basically mixing. Here's very thinly traded volume down here, right? And here is very highly traded volume. It's night and day. You can't even compare that. So the problem starts when you mix that up, right? When you take your Fibonacci tool, put it down here, put it up here, and talk about 38.1% retracement. Because down here was very little volume, whereas here is very high volume. Yeah? That's the thing. That's why I said it in the first place. Hi Andy, I love your addition to the stream. Glad that you've joined forces with Tom. Keep up the good work. I have a question. I've been trading for quite some years now, but still aren't consistently profitable. When did it finally click, or what, or for you, and what do you think contributed to the click? What I mean is, when you transcended from being a consistently unprofitable trader to a profitable one, what do you think contributed mostly to baptism, so to say? Question is from Johan. From Sweden. Okay. I believe that there is no clicking moment. There's no eureka moment. Hey, now I'm profitable, right? It's more a steady, gradual process. I believe at one point you probably reach a point where you at least don't lose any more money. You're a break-even trader. And Larry Pesavento said to me, Andy, if you're break even, you're actually not so far away from being profitable. I didn't know that at that point, so it's might worth repeating to you guys. So the moment where you don't lose money anymore, then you're maybe closer to profitability than you've ever been. Yeah. So don't give up at that point. It's maybe worth mentioning. Yeah, and that's just it. You have to start analyzing your trades. Put yourself under a lot of scrutiny. It means also you need to journal your trades. I take screenshots. I put there a lot of annotation, text annotations, and whatever I draw there around with. I put that all in PowerPoint. So, and then I will, after the session, I will sit down and see what the fuck I was doing there. Why did I close the FTSE? Because I got spooked by one bar that had traded lower later. What happened there in the DAX? Did I flip there? And why did I do that? And why was that a bad idea with hindsight? And also I try to write down what I felt, my emotions, and then certainly if there is find out if there's correlation between bad trading behavior and emotions that you felt, emotional states that you were in. What were the triggers for that? Yeah. So. And that's a process, right? There's no point where you will be like, oh, actually, I'm profitable now. Wow, yoo-hoo. Please ask your questions in English for the German and Austrian gentlemen. Otherwise, I need to translate them. So, Manuel asks, what's my professional background? I had a proper career in a big German corporation in the retail industry, and also worked as a freelance consultant in the area of retail and e-commerce. So I was managing projects and things like that. So my academic background is in economics and IT. Chris, hi Andy, I love your honesty, encouragement. How would you start trading if you were a complete beginner today again? Well, I would probably, it's a good question, actually. I would probably study L. Brooks, price action. and I would demo trade, paper trade, and get some experience. I would probably tune in to Tom, watch all of his videos, study his material, and maybe also study other traders, find what appeals to you, fire trades on a demo account, and then at one point when you feel like, okay, I have some sort of trading system here, I seem to have edge, try it with real money, but like at the tiniest of lot sizes, you know, just put something on the line and fire a trade or two, see how that goes, fire 10 trades, fire 20 trades, and then you see if you act differently when money's involved than you were on a demo account. And then it's maybe the point where you need to start working on trading psychology. So you can read Tom's book, Best Loser Wins. You can read the works of Dr. Steve Ward, Mark Douglas, stuff like that. Yeah. Now DAX coming off again. I will not be suckered in, even though we're starting to print bear bars now. Okay. Just reading some questions. I think if I addressed that already recently, I will probably skip it. Jack said, hi Andy, since the last week it seems market is rallying on open, then the whole day is range bound and breakout trades don't work. However, trading shakeouts are working out. Well, I would disagree. Yesterday was clearly a trend day. Opened here, closed down here, right? So also here on the 25th, trend day started here, closed up here. Yeah. Last week pushed down, reversed up. 20th trend day, and so forth. So but yeah, for the sake of my own trading, I trade 90 minutes and that's it. Just have to tell you, Wednesdays is historically my worst day. And today is no difference. So, I don't know. I think I could have navigated, to be honest, that FTSE trade better, even though we're coming back up now. But I was planning on taking profit down here, and letting rest run. In the DAX, I got a little bit unlucky because I didn't use an order. I sold at market, so the offset here probably of the school run short would have saved me. Should have maybe stayed out of that mess, at least not take the flip. But that came down so fast here that I thought there's some momentum behind it. But it wasn't. So Hey Andy, I just wanted to say thanks that you always go in overtime, which is more than 1 hour streaming. Yeah, I believe in over delivery. You know, I'm the new guy here. Want to engage a little bit more with you guys, take some questions. Steve, good morning. Andy, Ranger, listening to you. I've been trading a long time and have known Tom for 20 years. I'd say the FTSE and DAX are as hard to trade the last few months as I've ever seen. Seems impossible to hold for more mini swings. Technically are very hit and miss, and as you say, depends on where you draw the fib from. All the best. Yeah, exactly. Have to. I don't know. That's also the thing. If when I'm trading here, I also have to manage the expectation of Tom and also of you guys. You want to see some action. I'm not sure if I were just by myself. Okay, you can say yes. Here is resistance, and there's the chance of buying into resistance. DAX might double top and at least reacted to that. But also there's no continuation down, so we didn't really double top here. We're just in a bloody range trapped here, a sideways movement. So would I have taken the screw run here? Yes, maybe I would have taken the screw run. Would I have taken the flip? Maybe not. Yeah. Definitely wouldn't have risked on that trade much. If that would be a better close, maybe above the midpoint, would have been much more confidence in going long here. I was almost surprised that that took a while, took half an hour before we got a fill. Anyway, today I'm just happy not to lose more. Lovely. Please don't lose. Andy, DAX Xetra is till 7:30 till 5:30, not 5. Yeah, I believe I said 5:30. If I said 5, apologies. Cash session is from 9 a.m. to 17:30 Frankfurt time. So the old guy says that it's not the market, it's the strategy. All market conditions are tradable. But if your strategy is not quickly adapted to changing conditions, then it will seem like a difficult market. Well, you can also do that. But how do you know that the market is different? And how is it different? And how do you match the strategy to those conditions? If you do that, it's a lot of work. So you have to constantly reassess and readapt strategies. So well done if you're doing well with that. Okay. Jaw. Hi Andy, did you read the Al Brooks books? If yes, did you take anything useful from them? Something you use every day? Yeah, well, I learned price action from them. So to read price action bar by bar, yeah. And market structure. So yes, use that every day. When I talk about this is a bull bar closing at its high. And stuff like that. That narration that comes from my knowledge of price action, even though I tone it down, it can be much more detailed. Just don't believe that in a bloody range like that, every bar tells a story. I really don't believe that. To me, I just see I see a box here and I just hope eventually we will break out, but I will not trade much longer. So hey Andy, thanks for a great session. Could we maybe do some end of the month statistics on the espresso trade? How did it work this month? Thank you. Well, Oliver, why don't you do that and share that with me? I will certainly share that with the community if you allow that. Absolutely not a problem, right? Just what I do outside of the stream is a little bit, you know, I'm not Tom, you know, I'm not running this trading room. I'm not trading live every day. You see me here Wednesdays and a little bit on this holiday session where I jump in. So that's keep that in mind, right? So, but if you want to trade the, if you want to forward test, if some of you guys want to do that with the espresso, share the results, gladly show them. Frank, agree on the setups depreciation point, Andy. However, the three market regimes are constant: bull, range, and bear. So as breakout trader, the real challenge is to determine / accept when the market is in a range regime and trade accordingly. Easy? No. But review this stream for DAX session. You have repeated many times. Looks like a range and your bias was bullish, my understanding. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. But buying the low of the range should have been aligned with your position, don't you think? Right. I don't trade ranges. I'm a breakout trader. In ranges, I get chopped up. That's just what it is. Usually, when I see something like that, and I'm by myself, I'm not with you, I might scalp that, right? So, and I don't want to scalp here because I don't believe there's much educational value. But obviously, what this gentleman suggests is can just say, okay, we're in a range, so draw a rectangle where most of the action is, wherever you think that is. So, and then you could just buy low and sell high, yeah, and always hold for a couple points, right? So right now you would be short, maybe stop loss up here, and vice versa. You would buy here, stop loss down there, and then you would just play that game. But the Skuran is a breakout trade. It's a breakout trade over the second 15-minute bar. And unfortunately, got triggered twice. Long here, short here. So I could have stayed out altogether, but then you would have seen no action. And also, you have to accept that not every strategy works in every environment. So that's a little bit also the thing. What I want to showcase here is good trading. You can argue stay out of ranges when you're a breakout trader. Yep, fair enough. Or you can just say take the next trade without fear or hesitation. That is good trading, right? If you can discern what will happen beforehand, yeah, well, right? But yeah, at that point where we got to fill, I was pretty range bound. So I guess both are valid points. I did what I did. I took my loss here because I thought it's just will continue for a while like that. So it's very ugly to trade. All right. So Excellent explanation. I will keep that in mind. I really appreciate and enjoy your questions and answer session. It's very insightful and good learning experience. Yes, I have longed the DAX and my entry is 25,320. Yeah, then absolutely well done. Well done. Mm-hmm. Do you have a favorite market to trade, Andy? For me, it's the Dow, and my least favorite is the UK 100. I can't get it right. Yeah, I personally, I like to trade the DAX and the Dow. On this stream, I also trade the FTSE and the Nasdaq because that's what Tom is doing, and their setups available. I believe I have much more experience trading the DAX. So yeah, Frank says, Andy agree, but no action is good trading as well. It's a good lesson in trading. Learn to sit on your hands is number one rule, as you know. Yeah, exactly. Patience. Flat is also a position. So guys, here's the thing. You have to decide that for yourself. If you want to take high probability trades, I would argue it's hard to know that beforehand, right? It's easy to do that with hindsight. So, two ways to look at it. You can take your setup without fear or hesitation when it forms, and then accept whatever outcome, right? So, or you can just try to evaluate market conditions that are in favor of your setup, and then go ahead and take that only if things line up. So why was I bullish? I believe I explained that in the beginning, or more bullish than bearish. So because of this here, right? So see, we opened gap up, we closed, we opened gap up, we opened basically at the overnight high, we traded and closed above that, right? So above basically everything else, and then we got, I believe that I said that the previous cash high is an immediate target, so rotation to up there. Yes, that's where we are trading for the last, I don't know, hour or so and a half. Right, so we made it up there, and that means also that now it's feasible that we maybe trade to up here. But we're trapped in a sideways movement. And this candle here, it's currently trading at its highs or close to its highs, might deflate again, because we're still in a range. But the breakout trader in me is always, when we're up here, I'm just always hoping for continuation. So, why did I flip short? there was, of course, we might have double topped here, right? It's a previous cash high. So sellers were stepping in. It went down very fast. Yeah. So, and the school run short triggered. So I took that. Yeah. Of course, hoping for continuation. Yeah. But traded back into the range. And I just decided to stay out of it. And right now, you see again, we had a retest of previous cash high. Now that bar is deflating again. As I explained that, trapped in a range. So that's my reasoning. I'm not saying that was the best thing to do. Can only explain to the best of my ability why I did that. That I had a good reason to go long and a good reason to sell short. And so if somebody says, okay, Andy, but if you see chop like that, staying out is a wise thing to do. Fair enough. Right. But I will not trade the range with you directly. So Matic says, in my opinion, when the setup comes, we should take it and try to manage it as well as we can with what the market provides. On days when it's not agreeing with us, we try to protect our money, and on days where the market agrees with us, we try to ride it out and take as much as we can. Yeah, we go. That's a good way to look at it. Chris, did you trade Fulton? I believe I talked about that. Stefano, would you adjust size when you're scalping for only a few points? Yeah, well, when you scalp, you probably have a risk to reward ratio that is constructed in a way that you risk more than you make on each trade. I would just say stay at the stop loss value is something like 1% of your nominal account size. You should be fine. Can also maybe scalp a little bit in smaller size. You're taking more trades. So Andrea asks, when you use your espresso, you use anti-martingale technique if you are in profit. Don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. So okay, cool. Anyway, no more questions. I think I have overextended a little bit the time here. Thanks for being here. Thank you for tuning in. Karaoke Andi out.